Manchester United is in a serious hunt for a new striker, not just to replace Antony Martial, who is set to depart. Most importantly, is to find a proper backup for Rasmus Højlund, who will give us options and depth of the bench, but also to push our number one goal poacher. Who should that be? My name is Webb. Welcome to the United Hotspot, and here are some of the options that United is looking at. And at the end of this video, I'll give my verdict on who United should go for. Welcome, subscribe, share, and like this video for the growth of this channel. Now, the first guy that United has been linked with is the guy you look at right there on the screen. That is Dominic Solanke, who is a 26-year-old striker currently playing for Bournemouth. You can recall him, your most recent memory must be of him destroying Manchester United in our last game. That's the 2-2 draw away at Bournemouth. If you do recall, when Kambwala tripped and almost fell, only for this guy to send a beauty at Onana's way. It was such a beautiful goal to watch. But the thing is, it's not even just about that goal. The reality is he has scored more of those. Imagine in 36 games that he has played this season, Dominic Solanke has scored 18 goals. That is half of the games he has played. He has scored and 3 assists. That is beautiful for a striker who is playing for a team like Bournemouth, a bottom half team. That is one. But two, one thing he has about him, the advantage that he has, is that he has played in the Premier League, I think, a little longer than most of these strikers who have been linked with Man United. He came out of the Chelsea Academy. That's one. That's a big club. Made it to the senior team, but wasn't good enough to be a starter. Then was loaned to Vitesse. Then later joined Liverpool, where he played about 20 games or 21 games and he scored just a goal or two. Then that's when he left in 2019 and joined Bournemouth to become one of their best strikers in history. In over 190 games, he has scored over 70 goals. So he's an important player for them. And here's the thing, he's 26. The profile of the striker that Ineos will be looking for is one, he should be older than Rasmus Højlund. Højlund is 21. You want a striker who is a little more experienced than him, who is going to come and push him, but also offers a different dimension in terms of coming off the bench to be able to kill off games if Højlund has struggled, because definitely, like any striker, Højlund will have some bad games. But also, you need a striker, most importantly, as a profile, a striker who is not going to cost United more than 30 million quid. Very important. I don't see United spending 72 million pounds in the last time on Højlund. That's for a top player you have huge trust in, and then we come and spend more than 30 million on another striker, given the situation the club is in. I don't see that happening. So Dominic Solanke makes sense. And the fact that he has played in the Premier League a little longer and for fairly big clubs, certainly he makes sense. But he is not my number one option. He will remain number 3 for me, Dominic Solanke. Now, well, United has been linked with so many other strikers, by the way, but most of the other strikers we've been linked with are young. They are a bit young, and I'm thinking we're not going to invest in another very young striker. So the other striker we are linked with, who is of, I think, the age that fits the profile we're talking about, is Ivan Toney, the Brentford striker, who has got his ordeals to deal with. He dealt with them, but has been back. In 15 games, he has scored 4 goals and assisted once. That's a beautiful start for any striker. I think it's a fair start if you think about it. But the thing about Ivan Toney, he's a complete striker. I love him. I enjoy him. In fact, I think personally that he should be chosen by Gary Southgate for the Euros to back up Harry Kane ahead of Ollie Watkins. I find him a better, different dimension, a beautiful penalty taker. He's animated, he's creative, he's crafty, and comes up with stuff. That's a typical Premier League striker. I love Ivan Toney. My only issue with Ivan Toney, the disquiet I have, is there's competition for him. Remember, Brentford were pricing him at over 70 million pounds. I think they clearly are willing to cut down on him, but I don't think they'll cut down on him to a level cheaper than 45 million pounds. And for me, like I said, United shouldn't be going for any striker more than 30 million pounds unless we get so much money, which is unlikely. But the money is not there. We don't need them. Højlund is good enough. So for me, a backup cannot be in Ivan Toney. Even Ivan Toney himself, I don't think he's the kind of striker who will come to United and accept to be playing second fiddle. He's a backup. He's a big guy. He wants to be the starter. Now, whereas that might push Højlund, and we needed that at United, I think honestly, it's not necessary in the circumstances we're in for us to spend on that amount of money on a striker, a backup who is coming as a backup. So whereas he's of the right age, 27, that's good. I don't think for me he is the one we need. He let him go to Arsenal and try to make them real serious title contenders. But I don't. I think he's a little expensive for United, and he's overly qualified. He's more qualified than what Manchester United really need. So Ivan Toney, I don't think so. By the way, Solanke, the other thing I almost didn't say is that I think Solanke is used to would understand if United brought him and made him a backup striker. Do you think Ivan Toney would? I don't think so. If you're going to bring a striker as a backup, they need to be humble to say, okay, I accept that I'm going to be a backup unless I turn up so well and I do better, a lot better than the lead striker. Or if there is for God forbid, there is a serious injury in the lead striker, I can take up the mantle. And Solanke can do that. And Ivan Toney can do that. But again, these two, they are good. They are not my top priorities. Here is my number one priority that I think Manchester United should be going for. His name is Serhou Guirassy. Yeah, and I know some of you will be shouting, "Oh, Guirassy is not proven. He has got no Premier League experience. Neither does Højlund, and neither did Erling Haaland when he joined Man City from Borussia Dortmund. But also, this guy is a backup, and he is available for how much? Less than 15 million pounds. This guy has been the second top scorer in the Bundesliga. He has helped VfB Stuttgart go to the Champions League for probably the first time in a lifetime. In so long, no one expected it. Stuttgart is in the Champions League because of the 25 goals he has scored in 26 games, for assisted twice, meaning in every game he has played, he has contributed to a goal. And he's priced at just 15 million pounds now. Serhou Guirassy is 27. Actually, he's going 28. He's already 28, actually. That's maturity. That's experience. He's cheap. We don't have money. That's what we need. So he's cheap, 15 million pounds. So his wages would probably be about at most 40,000 pounds a week or 50,000 pounds per week at most. That is what we would have to pay him to come and sit on the bench as a backup, but knowing that if Højlund is not available, he's good enough to step up and be the starting striker for Man United. But also, he's experienced enough. If goals elude Højlund, this guy can come in and take on the mantle and kill off games because he's a little more experienced. So for me, I think it would be a smart signing, a humble signing, given the circumstances Manchester United is in. So forget about all other strikers we've been linked with. For me, one of these is enough to come in. Ivan Toney, the least likely for me because of the expense. He might be a little expensive than we need, but also he's overly qualified. He's overqualified for what we need. But Serhou Guirassy is the perfect striker that Manchester United would need to replace Antony Martial and most importantly, to back up Rasmus Højlund. Højlund would learn a couple of things from him as well because he is older, meaning he's more experienced than him. So there's a lot he can learn. Whereas Højlund might technically be a better player, this guy has scored more goals in a top league. Yes, you might say the Bundesliga is not the Premier League. Yes, I know it's not, but I mean, he has proven he has scored goals. He has scored goals. That's it. And he's a big guy. He's a personality. He's tall and long. So I think for me, go for the cheap guy. Unknown, less competition, less pressure. Trust you me, that will be an able deputy for our promising Rasmus Højlund. My name is Webb. Subscribe. This is the United Sport. I'll catch you later, fam.